Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl Grabowski and this is a place of introspection. About 2 years ago, um, well, it's been longer than 2 years ago, but for about 2 years, I've been consistently speaking on introspection, me learning how to navigate my inner world. There was a big part of me where I was detached from my true self. And what I've learned nowadays is we don't realize, thank you, Sunday Rose, we don't realize that our biggest issue is our mother wound. And that if we're going to heal properly, y'all come on in. I'm just doing my intro. You're going to have to address it. You're going to have to. If you're going to heal properly. We've been healing, right, a little bit at a time, but there's a proper way to heal. And so the mother wound is the thing that we have to look at the most. So y'all come on in, come on in. I just had a little piece of lunch, just a little bit. And I had some water, had some rice, some chitlins. Happy Kwanzaa. Hey, Rich the Fish. Hi, girl. How you doing? Y'all come on in. Come on in. We're going to make healing fun. We're going to talk about the mother womb. We're going to give a little science. We're going to give a little, some knowledge. And we're going to do it in my style. I think as I look into the mother womb, I've done a lot of this stuff already, actually. Hello, guys. Happy Thursday. Do. Happy Thursday, y'all. Do. Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday, y'all? I'm not even sure, but I think it is. Happy Thursday. Do. Happy Thursday. Do. Can y'all share the live and hit the like? Because a lot of people want to hear this. The one and only Cheryl Grabowski. Can y'all share the lives? Copy the link. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hey guys, hit the like button. What's up, Wendy? What's up, Tabarak? 2025 is almost half over, Queen Fire. Okay, Jim. Yes, it is. What's up, Brucey Bruce? Bruce Miller in the building. We already know there's just something about our channel, honey. Something about introspection. What's up, Mark Quinn? I guess y'all here. Thank you, Tabarak, for this mother wounding talk. It's just so deep. It's so deep. Well, we're going to do it in a Cheryl Grabowski style. Thank you, Miss Callie, girl. Thank you. I was over at the festival the other day, and there was this beautiful black woman, and she was a vendor, and she had these wonderful head scarves and matching earrings. And I chose this color over every color. And I think it's fantastic. I was at the gas station this morning, and the attendant asked me, he says, where are you from? Where are you from, ma'am? I said, I'm from Raleigh. Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. And he was like, uh, okay. I said, where are you from? He says, I'm from Nigeria. I was like, oh, do I look Nigerian? He said, yes, you look Nigerian. I was like, yeah, people have told me that too. I'm coming through with the African aesthetics, you know. I guess my facial features are somewhat, you got the cheekbones and, and all, yeah, it's giving a little piece of African. They stand, They saying they were God. Okay. What's up, RGD89? How you doing? Y'all thumbs up the live for me. Hit the like button. Why do black women look so young? Bruce says, Cheryl, why do black women look so young? Bruce, listen, I really feel like what I'm learning, it's our melanin. It's the brown, it's the color. The melanin uh is like it's very like good for the skin. The color itself is, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Daisy? Thank you. A lot of damn kids are live streaming their kids out to play outside. Okay. It's the melanin though. What's up, 444 SCR? How you doing? Gemini in the building. It's the melanin, y'all. It's coming through with the melanin. So anyway, y'all go ahead and like the live, like the live, like the live. I would love for you guys to tell your people about the channel. It's a channel of introspection. Daisy in the building. And tell your friends. I want this series of this mother wounding to be something that you guys can share. Share. Because sharing is caring. And this is what I believe, like, I don't spend a lot of time in the sun. I don't. But I feel like I want to make you guys proud. And I want you to take something from every live. What's up, Bishop? Um, my grandbaby has a cell phone and she's had one for years and she's 10. We gave her the cell phone around 7. All right. All right. So we want to understand. Hello, guys. Hello. About this mother wounding. So the mother, me, I'm the mother. Like I have 4 children. The relationship with your mama is the most important relationship of your life, or either the caregiver. It might not be your mama. It might be grandma. You know, grandma might be the caregiver. You know, could have been your uncle. It could have been your neighbor, could have been a cousin, you could have been adopted. Whoever that person was, don't know. Thank you guys for all the comments. Keep the comments coming. Ask questions. Let me know. I have my notes right here, and then I have y'all in there really close together. So I'll be going back and forth in the comments. So the mother wounding. Your mother and whatever she had going on. Bishop, don't. I already told you what age it was. So I told you she's had her cell phone since she was 7. Okay. Um, we had a conversation yesterday while we were mukbanging at the Popeye's Pizza. I mean Popeye's Chicken. And Latanya and somebody else in the chat spoke well of their mothers, right? They spoke really nice of their mothers. Um, and all of us could say nice things about our mother. You know, it's easy to do because we're both, if you think about the duality, we're both good and bad, or you could say we're both godly and we're both evil. You know what I'm saying? We are the tree of the knowledge of the fruit of good and evil. We are, you as a person, right? We don't want to have that, like that mental illness where we're looking at a person and say, oh, well, that person is all good, or that person is great, that person is perfect. No, that's not real. It's not real. It's a fallacy. So over here on this channel, we want to make sure that we understand that before we get into the mother wounding. When you think of the word wound, you're thinking of a injury. You know, you could have been injured by your mother. I know I was injured by my mother, right? Because of her past traumas. She had her past traumas, she had her unresolved issues, and she had children. And I'm one of those kids. Okay? So I was affected by her unresolved emotions and the things that she had that was not so good, and then she began to raise me. And so in that, there was a wounding that we all experience. Now, my mother, for instance, She lived a lot depressed. She wasn't a happy lady like me. Like, I'm a lot happy. And my mama used to say all the time, in spite of, because I told y'all about all my ups and downs. And my mama used to say all the time, sure, everybody can't be happy like you all the time. So, but no matter what's going on, I still can see the silver lining. I still have always known how to make myself happy and not to spend too many hours, God forbid, days in a dungeon. I can't do that. So I never like was that type of person. And so my mother had for instance, she had a food addiction. She could be really mean. A lot of times she was emotionally unavailable, and that is one of the things that causes a wound. Okay, so these are some of the things that causes wounding: neglect, emotional neglect, physical neglect. Um, those are kind of things that cause wounded. When you think of a wound, it don't have to be, oh girl, my mama took a brick and hit me upside the head, or my mama left me out. Hey JC, my mama left me out all night in the cold, or she pimped me out to somebody. It don't have to be that. I just want y'all to know that before we get started, because a lot of people don't understand that a lot of what mom did has crippled you in certain ways, and you're still dealing with those things. So to heal from this wounding, you will need the awareness of the self. And you would say, sure, what is that? Okay, well, one of my big issues is, I might take these glasses off, y'all, because it might help me to stay out the chat. And anyway, they keep on going lopsided. So one of my issues is I wasn't aligned with my true self. Thank you, People Choice, because in my environment that I grew up in, a lot of times I had to shrink myself down, or I had to make myself sort of invisible because my mama had so many emotional needs. And a lot of times she was dysregulated emotionally. So when a child grows up in a house like that, they kind of shrink themselves down, like invisible, like, and then over a period of time, they lose the sense of their individual self. You know what I'm saying? They lose that. All right. And so you will need to work on the awareness of the self, and then you will have to have compassion towards yourself, compassion towards your inner child, right? A big part of this, guys, is just parenting, reparenting. And we say, what's up, Ria? We say reparenting because in order to reparent, um, thank you, Bishop. In order to reparent yourself, that means that you were not parented in the way that you could have been parented or should have been parented. Because listen, parents are not perfect. Let me take the damn glasses off. I'm done. Parents are not perfect, okay? They're not. And so they miss a lot of the pieces, and whatever they didn't give you, you don't have. So then you have to learn how to be compassionate towards yourself. Three things that you got to learn how to do. Three things before we get into the meat of it. You got to acknowledge, number one, that you have a wounding from your parent. That's the first thing. We can't get up on here. We can't say to ourselves, "Oh, I had a perfect parent," because there is no such a thing. You did not. If you are prone to say, if you feel the need to say that you had a perfect parent, then that's because you were groomed that way. One of the reasons why you might have a problem not acknowledging that your parent wasn't perfect is that you were taught that you don't speak against your parent. And if you were taught that way, for this live, for this teaching, you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of it because it doesn't work here. In order to deal with What you're going to have to deal with in heal, you have to be honest about all of the different parts, okay? So you can't do that. First of all, you got to acknowledge that your parent wasn't perfect. Second of all, you've got to seek out self love, self help, coaching or therapy. You need one of those tiers to help you with your healing. And then thirdly, you've got to set boundaries with your mother. If you had issues with your mother and you know it now, and your mother is still alive or whatever like that, then after you address her, and then after you get some support from the therapy or the coaching, then you have to set boundaries, because now you have to teach your mother what's okay with you and what's not, what she can do and what she can't. Because you're not 10 anymore. You're not 5 anymore. You're not 14. You're 35, 45, 55, 60. And as a 45, 55, 60-year-old, you're adulting. And it doesn't matter that your mother is older than you. It doesn't matter. You're an adult now. So what I really realize, and I see this in my oldest son and some other people, and this has been me. This has been me too. When you have that emotion that tells you that you cannot speak to your mother a certain way, that you cannot create these boundaries, and that you cannot draw a clear and distinct line between you and your mother, or to tell your mother what she can and can't do, that is your inner child. That is the emotions of your inner child that feels that way. That's not you, the adult you. So while we've been here on this channel talking about the inner child stuff, the reason for that is that you grow. Your inner child is here. This is you now. That you grow and integrate that inner child into this. So when you feel the emotions of, oh, I can't talk to my mama like that, that's my mother. You're not 9. You're not 10. You're not 12. You're an adult. And in order for you to show up for you, then you have to take care of this situation in the way that adults take care of it, even though it's your mother. That's what's okay, because we're addressing the mother wound. You cannot heal until you deal with mommy. Whether mommy is alive or mommy is in the grave, it doesn't matter. I'm going to just throw this out here because some of y'all might be thinking this, so I'm just going to go on and deal with it. Honor your mother and your father, that it might be well with you and that you end up having a long life. We're going to take that sentence, and we're going to take it and we're going to put it in a box. Take the lid off the box, put it in the box, put the lid back on it, put it on the shelf, all the way in the back there. And that's where it stays. Okay? Because that is not a part of this. You can't do this with that. That's what we put in the box. You can't do it. You can't do that. Okay. So let's go a little bit further. Yeah. It's time for y'all to deal with mommy, okay? You got to. There are some traits of, in case you're wondering if you, good morning, Aaron. Sure, did you get a PhD in psychology? I got a PhD in life. Okay. So here are some traits of a mother wound. These are some of the things that you might be dealing with if you can identify that you have that. So if you've ever dealt with feelings of inadequacy, like feelings of I'm not good enough. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? I'm not good enough. Do you ever feel like you're not good enough and you don't really know where that's coming from? Cali Girl says, so true, Cheryl. Yeah. BP says the lips for me. I actually got these from my mother. So the feelings of inadequacy, if you feel inadequate, like if you're around a group of people, and God knows I felt this all my life. I'm serious, especially in school. And, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. There was no, well, shit. There were reasons why, yeah, that I felt like that. I'd gone through a lot as a child, in my home with my mama. But the feelings of inadequacy, the low self worth, feeling low about yourself. I mean, inwardly. And you see your friends over there, or you see, a couple people in the class, and they're good at what they do. They talk freely in front of everybody. They present well when they do their projects, or when they talk to the teacher. They walk into class and they own it. And they, school is school. They don't feel no negative emotions about anything. They're doing great. They have good self-worth, and they feel good about themselves, and you notice that, and you just trying to you be quiet and keep to yourself, because you don't want everybody to know that you're weird in that way, because you're dealing with the low self-worth, and you just feel some type of way about yourself. That is a wounding from That's a mother wound. That comes from mommy. And you might say, Cheryl, why did it come from mommy? Because if mama, hey Elizabeth, um, if mother would have gotten down on the floor and made eye contact with you, like we do with Ashlyn, and would tell you, like, you're the love of my life, Mark. And look at you, Mark. You're so smart, and you're so wise, Mark. And you're just great. And just hug. What's up, D? Thank you. And you hold your child, and you just wrap your child up, and you support them with words and with emotion. Hold them until they feel safe. And these are all the things, and then you expose them to wonderful things, and they're growing. Their inner child is growing, and they're like this. The inner child, the outer person is in sync. They don't have this dynamic that I have, and a lot of you guys have, like this. They don't have that. They have this. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to integrate this into that. They're already this, because you have made sure that you put that good stuff into your child, and that you were there to support them. So, and because of the feelings of inadequacy, check this out. We suffer in relationships, all kinds of relationships. Okay, we suffer in with the romantic relationship, and we suffer with friendships. Both we do both. Um, when we do have friends, what we don't realize is that they're not celebrating us; they're just only tolerating us, because they realize that something is off, something's not right. Thank you, Elizabeth. Good morning, Trucker's Wife. The mother wound refers to the emotional pain or trauma that people experience due to their relationship with their mother or primary caregiver. We've already said that. Um, it can result from various things. We're going to name some other things other than what we just named, like neglect or being overly controlled. What's up, Martin? Or being overly controlled. Now, I know all about the neglect. I do, because my mama, I don't think she was able to support us emotionally when she suffered herself with depression. So, and feelings of low self-worth herself. So we couldn't get that. We could get shelter, we had lights and water and food and shoes and stuff like that, but we couldn't get that. But how about, if you guys, what's up, De Leon? What if you had a really controlling mother? Like, she was severely controlling, like you couldn't go anywhere or do anything without her, down your throat. What if you had that? Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. All right, so overly controlling mama, it's the same thing. This is a mother wound, because if you overly control your children, or a narcissist, Well, a narcissist would be instead of calling a mother a narcissist, right? We'll just say a mother who has no emotional intelligence, none, and emotionally she doesn't know how. What's up, Bruce? She doesn't know how to support her children, so she's a narc. And Rosa said, "My mom was this way, and I'm still suffering to this day." We do. That's why we're in a constant thing of reparenting this mother wounding. And I'm trying to be as gracious as I can, because in order for us to go through this series the way that I want us to, and to end up where I want us to end up, then we got to show compassion and yeah, for the mother, for us as mothers, for ourselves, and for our mothers. We got to do it, because this mother's wounding is not on purpose. It's not a purposeful thing. It follows Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you have the basics for survival but no confidence in yourself, you are not fully realized growth wise and emotionally stunted. And baby, I hear you, Bruce. Girl, poopy pie. I'm talking about in the worst ways. Here we go. Now, I remember my baby boy said to me, Mama, if you hadn't have had us, I think you would have been a millionaire. So for many years, I thought about that. I said, what the hell does he mean by that? What does he mean by that? And I think partially what he was saying is we forgive but not forget the trauma. I know, Rosa. We just don't for this mother wounding series, because we done gave the mother, we've been on the other side of, my mama fucked me up, and I cut her ass off. We've been on that side. In this, we want to understand what's going on. Okay, we want to understand what's going on. It leads to emotional immaturity, which can become narcissistic tendency if left unchecked. Then the cycle repeats. It's definitely generational, because this thing that I'm talking about, if you don't figure out what it is, if you don't purposely work on it, learn about it, to understand it, to see it in yourself, to recognize it in your mother, and then to deal with your children, it will 1000% go into the next generation. We have gone way beyond rent, lights, water, and clothes. I mean, I'm talking about in consciousness, all over the world, in consciousness. I feel like my mother's generation, it was their goal to have us, what's up, Heather, to have us taken care of in that way. But now, spiritual wise, we are all raising in vibration and consciousness, knowing that love is what fixes and heals everything. And we've got to love on our children. Don't we all have triggers? Yes. But this is what we're talking about, is not triggers. We're not talking about triggers today, or, we are talking about the traumas, but we're not talking about the triggers. We're talking about the very things that hold us back, the things that have crippled us, we have learned from our mothers. That's what we're talking about. So when you have an overly controlling mother, I think some people call them helicopter moms, when they're always hovering over you. I've had so many conversations. I just want to say this. I'm going to back away from my notes, because I'm going to go into this little story time. When we've had so many, she says, yes, all matters is the love and we make it. Yes. When we've had so many, I've had so many people that I've known over the years that they are so controlling over their children, meaning that their children can't go anywhere without them. They cannot be outside of their eyesight at all. They might not be able to participate in extracurricular activities because of the trauma and the unresolvedness of the mother. Now, for example, story time. There's a mom. She's been sexually assaulted in a horrendous way when she was just a young girl. So she births her first child before she turned 13. Okay? And can you imagine like a 12-year-old that's being sexually assaulted by a man? He impregnates her. She doesn't know that she's pregnant. By the time her parents find out, she's showing, and she's just horrifically traumatized. Now let's go 25 years, 20 years down the road, and now she has her 6 kids and her husband. So she's technically what you call a controlling mother, right? But the children don't know, because this is her trauma, the mother. They don't know that she was lured in by a relative when she was a child. There was no reason for her not to want to be around the relative. She's only a kid. She doesn't know that this person is a monster. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know that she's in trouble until she's in trouble. So she has these children, and she's a helicopter mom, and she's very controlling. And the children hate it. And they now have received a wounding from her because they don't know that she was assaulted in a worse way for 5 hours with a grown man. And he flipped and dipped and did and touched and everywhere as much as he wanted without her resisting, because he whispers in her ear, I'm going to unalive you if you tell, and I'm going to unalive your family. And it crippled her in fear, and she was done. She was done after that. The psychological damage that she would experience. Now, she's a controlling mother, and she has her children. Children can't go anywhere. They can't do anything. They don't know why. Other children go places because they've not had a mother who was entrapped by a grown relative and did those things to her when she was 12. So then the mother says to her counselor, she says, I can't help it. She said, I can't let my children go anywhere. I can't. I don't want that to happen to them. But she don't understand that she's causing another type of wound in her kids, even though they will not be assaulted by the the male relative like she was, but her controlling ways will stifle them and wound them and make them feel um, emotions of self loathing. They will have low self esteem and feel inadequate because of her wounding. And yeah, so you say she needs help. Yeah, she does. She does. But see, it doesn't look like she needs help, does it? It looks like she's it looks like she's protecting her children. At the same time, she's wounding the kids. You see that? You got this thing that's going on, and it looks like a good thing. Oh, I take care of my kids. Oh, I watch my kids. Oh, I ain't gonna let nobody hurt my kids. But they're not going. You're stifling their growth. You're making them. You're making them approach life like it's a scary movie. And even though that happened to you, it might not even happen to them at all. So they're reliving mama's trauma. See, that's a wounding. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say in this series, we're not going to deal with the finger pointing and oh, terrible, terrible mama. Rosa said, Chris Jackson, I hear you. We're not going to deal with that because we're trying to understand what this is. She's able to justify the unhealthy behavior by using her unhealed trauma. She might not even know. What's up, Nikki? Yes, Nikki. She might not even know or even recognize Poopy Pie that is her trauma. Do you understand what I'm saying? She feels like she's Poopy. I believe you have a degree in topic. Um, she feels like that she's protecting her children, but not understanding that she's stifling them. It's her intent. It's not a bad intention, y'all. This is not like you are a bad mother. It's not that. These aren't bad people, just unhealed people making bad decisions out of fear, like an animal backed in a corner. Yes, that's right. So that's the part. Thank you, Poopy Pie, for saying that. That's what I want. So while we confront this mother wound, we just need a lot of grace and compassion here for this, because um, a lot of times we're wounding our. What's up, Valencia? We're wounding our children and we don't know that we're doing it because we've received the wound from our mother. We're not in the know. Conscious wise, let me say it again, Poopy Pie, Nikki, conscious wise, we are rising all over the world right now in this 2025. There's something really like spiritual going on now that I feel like our parents and stuff didn't have that. That might not even have been their plight. They brought us to where we are now. And we take the torch and we got to take it on to our children so that they can help their children and their children. Because where we are now, you're welcome, Rosa. Thank you for being here, Rosa. Thank you for being here. Poops, where did you get help? Yeah, Rosa, like and subscribe. Listen, so yeah, we're carrying on the torch now because we're different from them. Now, I'll tell you this now. A lot of this that's in the information that I've been diving into, I've done a lot of this already because I confronted my mother in torment. It was scary as fuck. You know what I'm saying? We can love them while still calling out the unhealthy behavior and making sure they know that you still love them breaks down the gut reaction of defense. Yes, because we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is what she just said. We don't want to do that. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that. Not with the mother wounded. Not with the mother wound. Because to me, out of everything that I've learned about the mother wound, it's a lot of it's subconscious. The mama is not even aware. I tell y'all, I watched a lot of Ayana Fix My Life, LOL, and did a lot of research on psychology and how the mental illnesses interact with each other. Girl, yes. I remember my mother said one day, she and I were talking, that she prayed because that's what they had, right? They had church. So she prayed and she asked God, why are her children, me and my siblings, so hard headed? No, what's wrong with me and my kids? That's she's asking God a question. What's wrong with us? And then she says that God said to her, they all are very hard headed. So that's what she got from God, right? So over the years, I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, no, Mama, no. Even before I learned the mother wounding, what's wrong with us is you. Yeah. What's wrong with her is us. What's wrong with us is her. What we don't have, she didn't give it. What we don't know about, she didn't know about it either. My mom would openly say, LOL. Thank you, Valencia. What we don't know about, she didn't give it. What she didn't understand, we didn't understand. We were her. We were branches off of her tree. Um, I know I shouldn't be saying this, but I have no one else to talk to. Poopy Pie, you can talk here. You can talk here. I thank God that you're here. I really do. Um, so yeah. Y'all remember the movie Mama Dearest? Y'all remember that? I remember I watched that. God didn't tell her that. It's her trauma that told her that. Rosa said, yeah. Um, Nikki said, boom, yeah. I knew how bad it felt for her to trauma dump, but I need to be the emotional comfort. LOL. I do. Um, Mama Dearest. So I watched Cali Girl say yes. So I watched Mommy Dearest with my mother. And do y'all know from that day on, whoever that director, writer, guy was that did that movie, but from that day on, thank you, Jesus, is life. I always call my mama, refer to my mama as dearest. As a little girl, I just always refer to her as dearest. And she never said to me, and I started this really young. She never said, "Sure, don't you say that to me," because it wasn't a good movie. Mama Dearest was crazy. She was really trauma filled, and she was abusive to that little girl. And low key, there's so many mothers making their children do the emotional labor their husband doesn't. Yes, but Poopy Pie, I don't believe that they are aware. I watched this movie, but I haven't. Please go watch it. So we'll talk about it the next time. She was something else. Mama Dearest was something else. So, and so was my mama. One of the things my mama used to say, and I'm using my story as I teach of this mother wound because God knows my life, I have all the parts. But my mother used to say to me, as young as 10, if you were not my child, I wouldn't have anything to do with you. If you were not, we're going to break this down through the mother wounding. If you were not my child, Cheryl, if I didn't birth you and knew for sure that you came from me, I wouldn't have anything to do with you because I actually don't like you. Because you are mouthy, you are loud, you are observant, you speak your mind, you see me where the other kids don't. You challenge me, even if that means that you get a terrible spanking. You'll do it anyway. You mouth back. When I gaslight you, you call me out. When I do terrible things, you see me. If you were not my child, Cheryl, I wouldn't have anything to do with you. And that would be the census for most of my life until I met my coach. And then I was introduced to the world of introspection. And then I started doing the emotional work on me. And I started I knew that everything that the child that I was her doing. And then what she saw in me, she strongly disliked. But I was her masterpiece. I was her handiwork. Do you see what I'm saying? So what she saw in me was her. Um, I'm sorry you heard it from your mama, Cheryl. My dad said, wish I didn't have you and your siblings. That shattered me to this day. Mom always compared us to other better kids. Yeah, see. They don't, and I'll say this because I've done a lot of emotion work. See, so yesterday I cried when I talked about my son. But when I talk about me and my mother, all of our emotional issues are dealt with. I've resolved everything. Um, he said, "Hey, your daughter too fine." Thank you. Yes, sir. So I've done everything, but yeah, I was my mother's handiwork. Do you see what I'm saying? Her energy, her vibration, everything that was input into me, and so are you. You're the same way. So when she looks at this child, my mom, me, and she says, "I don't like that." She don't like herself because, that. Thank you, Yvonne. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Welcome to the family. So you see what I'm saying? So when we have the unresolved issues with our parents, I don't want anybody. I see why she don't like you. Listen, I don't want anybody to leave this live not making those connections and not seeing this. Because the whole point that we're doing this series is for you to understand and to see into this situation, to connect the dots. Even if you're a grandparent. So I'm very happy about being a grandparent right now. It's sobering and it's terrifying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because I see my children and their children. And I'm watching. And sometimes I'll speak to a situation that I see to my child about their child. And they'll say, "You be quiet because you don't have any room to say anything." And then I'll say, "Please don't look at it that way. I'm sorry that I didn't show up for you the way that would have been a better way, but I'm better now. And I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just saying, think about doing it this way. Because what you want a child internally, mentally, that is as healthy as they can be. That's what you want. You don't want anything other than that. You don't want that. You are a blank slate for them to write upon. Yes, ma'am. And those lectures become the internalized thoughts. That is the shadow mother. We will not talk about the shadow mother today, but she is absolutely coming. But today, our focus was understanding that we have woundings. And in order for you to get better and to address your woundings, you must address mother. You've got to. You've got to spend some time thinking about connecting those dots and seeing that those patterns and those behaviors and understanding that. If you are suffering in romantic relationships and friendships and shit go crazy for no reason, there is a reason. It's going back to that first relationship. And then thirdly, you need to seek out some help with it or start doing, like Poopy Pie said, doing research. And me and Poopy Pie, I feel like for the rest of my life, I will be always taking a deep dive and doing research, figuring out about my construct. So that's our beginner class, y'all. I hope y'all have enjoyed. Baby, we got a long way to go though, because I swear we're just started. Hey Paul, hello. Um, so number one, we acknowledge. Number two, we seek therapy. Number three, we set boundaries. Oh, we need the boundaries so bad. And when I set my boundary for my mother, after being aware, like I left the first time, I moved out and I went live my life. 10 years, hardly didn't have anything to do with my mama. That was when I was really, really young, y'all, in my 20s. But not too long ago, maybe about 6 years ago, I'd already started my healing journey, and I knew that I needed to set a boundary with my mother. Because that same energy that she had, if you were not my child, I wouldn't have anything to do with you. And she started that talk at 10 years old. That type of energy that she had, Good afternoon, great debater. Yes, learning new things every day is the goal. Yes, ma'am. That type of energy, it grew. It started. If you were not my child, I wouldn't have anything to do with you. And it went into all kinds of things like smear campaigns and, you know, and all kinds of stuff like that. So she and I ran into a really, 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 really bad tiff. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with you, girl. I'm done. Like, we're not talking. I will not come to your house. I will not call you. I won't have anything. Thank you, Nikki. I won't have anything to do with you. That was a boundary. And it was tough. It was a tough one. It was a sharp one. It was. And, but it was good. It was good. I was showing up for me and I was letting her know that you can't do that. I don't want you to do that anymore. Don't do that to me anymore. And did I love my mother? Learning to trust myself and know I don't need someone else to validate my experience of them was so freeing. Yes, because, and that works for me and my mother and my son and me. Yeah, because he has a right to tell his story. I had a lot of the same experiences with my mom. Thank you for sharing your journey. It makes me feel validated. Oh, you're welcome, Yvonne. Oh, we're just getting started. So tomorrow, around the same time, we'll come back. And so since we started, I'll be back earlier. I don't know. We might jump in there tonight and finish the notes that I have for this part and then go on to the other part. But the shadow mother, I'm so, oh my God, the shadow mother part is what I really want to get into. It allowed me to stop waiting on all those apologies that were never coming. And so let me just say something about that. I didn't need that. I didn't need that either. Because when I realized it wasn't her apology that I needed, it was me that I needed. Then I'm realizing, Cheryl, you're an adult. And those feelings and emotions that you have about mommy, those belong to a 10-year-old girl. Cheryl, you're 45. Those feelings and emotions belong to that little girl, Cheryl. You're feeling it, but that's your subconscious. Okay, that's not you here. So what I need you to do, Cheryl, this one, the adult one, I need you to figure out what she needs, the subconscious me, the younger me, and then give it to her. And then give it to her. What does she need? She needs to be told that she's beautiful. Thank you. She needs to be told that she's smart and that she's worthy and that she's valuable. See? She needs hugs, kisses, ice cream, whatever. Do it. Feed her. Feed her. Feed her. Feed her. Or him. Feed him. That's what she needs. And I'm just going to confess that when you first start doing this, when you first start feeling into yourself, sitting with yourself and realizing what you need, when you first start doing it, you're going to feel so silly. It's going to feel so silly, really. But I promise you, what it produces in you, oh my God, it'll change you. Partly the reason, part of the reason, let me see, 80% of the reason why I can come here and be present with y'all on screen like this is not, this confidence does not come without lots of work on me. When I first started doing YouTube, it's nothing like how I am now. I am not the same person. Inwardly, it's not the same. Let me read your comment, Pooh Pie. We got to get out the building, girl. All right. I sat there waiting for years, waiting for an apology that never came. I could either throw a fit about it or try to use some compassion and understanding as to why they are emotionally unable to say it. Well, the reason why they couldn't show up for you because they hadn't showed up for themselves. That's why I'm here. That's why you're in the chat, Poopy Pie. That's what happens. When we don't get what we need from them, they don't have it. They don't have it. They don't. Right? So that's the compassion. That's kind of where I ended up at. I grew so much compassion. Poopy Pie said exactly. Hey Sherwin Boo, how you doing, sugar? I'm sorry, I'm just in my zone. I ended up with so much compassion for my mother and her unresolved issues. Because I realized how hard it was for me. But we'll get to that. But with the rest of this series, we approach it with love and compassion for us, our inner child, and our parent and their unresolved issue. Both. They both came from a traumatic childhood and are such broken kids underneath it all. Yes. Underneath it all. Broken kids, but we can be fixed. And we are healing. We are. If you guys catch the replay and you've made it this far in the video, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you to, obviously, this information that I'm giving, obviously you need it or you've prayed about it, and here is the answer to your longing, feeling, and question about what's going on with you. What's going on with you is that you have unresolved issues. Your parent has wounded you early. You didn't know. And there are ways and tools and knowledge that you need that can help you change. They were just the blind leading the blind, and the tools they had access to, absolutely. Okay, Rosa. So I want you guys to stay around. We're going to dive into the mother wounding, and we're going to raise the vibration. Okay, we're going to raise it all over, because each one, I would say each one teach one, but nowadays we got social media, so each one teach 200,000 until we heal this whole planet. Until we heal this whole planet. The days of stuffing it, denying it, pretending that it's not there, those days are gone. We don't do that anymore. We put on our armor of courage and we investigate our inner terrain, which is the regions and the rhythms of our soul. Okay, that's what we're doing. So tell a friend to come over to the Grabowski channel, and let's take a deep dive into the mother wound. And tomorrow, not tomorrow, because we're definitely coming back tonight. We're definitely coming back tonight to finish the notes, okay? And we might add a little bit more to it before we go into this, how this codependence develops. All right, peace is good, just depends on what peace truly means. All right, Jimmy, y'all have a wonderful day. Let me get back to work. Bye, guys. Love you. Thank you, moderators. What time tonight? Sure. Okay. It's going to be on the late side. So it's going to be about around 8 o'clock. Not too late, though. We will be live before 9. And hopefully we won't only be live no more than an hour. Okay. So I'm going to call Monet and Fatima them, because I really want them to be on the live. I want all of us to start dealing with this mother wounding. And for some of you guys who secretly want to be content creators, you might be dealing with anxiety or fear or anything that you want to do. You might want to be an entrepreneur, or you might want to to date again and be in a relationship, and all this is going to help all of that. This is going to help all of that. Anybody that wants to redo their life, this is going to help all of that. Bye, Cheryl. What's so awesome being able to see you live. You brighten my morning so much. Oh, you're welcome, Yvonne. You have a wonderful day. Natural phase, look good, vibes, positive you. Thank you, Marcel. So this is YouTube Cali Girl. Look, this is going to help all of that. This is, you know how you go to the gym with your trainer and then you end up with a beautiful, nice body? Cheryl is your inner trainer. I'm your partner. Okay? I'm partnering with you to build up this inner world. Okay? Bye, guys. Love you. Mwah.